Good evening, my fellow Canes fans. What's going on? We are here talking some more fall camp, of course. We are now a week in, and today was the first day of pads. So, of course, Coach Cristobal had a lot to say in his interview. As far as things to report, nothing crazy, nothing like earth-shattering or anything, but definitely good to hear the guys, are out there in full pads, being physical. Now 3 weeks or a little over 3 weeks away from kickoff. But before I fully dive into that, please make sure and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. We're here talking some Canes fall camp. As you saw in the title, Coach Hayes is expected to join us here very shortly. So hopefully we'll get to chop it up with him a little bit. Always love having him on. But yeah, before I get into that though, shout out to the You Heard boys. Heard their I was listening to their show early this morning when I was getting it to work. Great episode, by the way. They were talking about the that list that the ACC came out with about the running backs on the Doak Walker preseason watch list. And I don't know if you guys caught this, but I'm sure you have by now because the list kind of like circulated amongst Canes Twitter. It was 17 running backs. And I'm sorry, I honestly mean no disrespect, because if you earned a D1 scholarship to play football, you have all my respect. Okay. That is an accomplishment in and of itself. Just playing a college sport in general is an accomplishment in and of itself. But bro, I looked up some of these names and I've never heard of half of them. I'm no disrespect, but I've never heard of some of these guys, bro. And you know what? Coach Hayes is actually backstage, and maybe we'll ask him about it real quick. What up, dude?
You caught me. You caught me with some cane juice. What's up with you, buddy?
Caught you mid-sip. What's going on, dude?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm good. I like that little countdown clock you got back there.
Man, we rocking. We got 23 days, 19 hours, 25 minutes, and 16, 15, 14 seconds. We put them Lucky Charms in the box, baby. What's up?
I love it. Curious. You were at the game in 2017, I'm guessing, right? Or were you not?
I was not. Not. Like I said, I was a Cane fan from afar. I was coaching, heavy in that, trying to win our own games, but no.
Good point. Yeah, you were coaching back then. That's true.
Yes.
But yeah, man, magical atmosphere that night that I'm hoping we can duplicate, maybe even surpass. Who knows? It's the opening game. Our record's 0-0. Everybody's hopes are super high. So, I don't know about you, but I think the atmosphere will be there. I know we kind of get dogged for people not showing up to games. I don't think that first game is going to be like that. I don't know. What do you think?
No, definitely not. I mean, it's no different, I think, than the Alabama-Miami game. You know what I mean? When everybody's in Atlanta, it was a packed house, in my opinion. You know what I mean? But, hey, I just can't wait for it. The Hard Rock, it is what it is. We're in a city that is, fluid, transient city in the sense of, a lot of transplants. Some people love Miami and the atmosphere, and they take sport teams as just entertainment. We take it as a way of life, right? Hey, you want to go to the Miami game? Yeah, sure. And then they go. We plan to go to the Miami game. It's a difference. It's not an outing for us. It's a thing that we do. It's something that you put on the calendar. You know what I mean? So, it's just one of those things, man. But hey, we got to make it happen this year, John. That's all I can tell you.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of, I remember we had you on the Sunday show. Okay. I want to say a little over a year ago, me and Flo, on his show on Sunday night. And I remember you said something, because it stuck with me, because you said something that you normally don't say heading into season. You don't usually do predictions or anything like that. But you were like, man, this year is 10 wins or bust. I don't care what anyone says. No excuses. 10 wins or bust. And sure enough, we won 10 games. Should have been more, but we won 10 games. For you, is that still the standard? Are you still expecting that? Like, are you kind of going into the season like, all right, they got the roster now. It's either they hit this or it's a failure. Like, is that kind of how you're looking at it?
I'm not looking at it so far as actually a record prediction. I'm actually just saying 12-0 this year because me personally, kind of before I answer the question is, me personally, I want to start beginning to set the standard, right? I don't want to look at it and be like, well, maybe we drop a game. No, this is the standard this is what we expect as a fan base. That's one. Now, what my expectation is, we go to the ACC championship game. Now, how does that happen? Is it 10-2? Hell, 9-3, 2 non-conference losses and one conference loss? I don't know. I don't know how that formula looks. But however you put the puzzle together, 2 + 3, 3 + 2 equals 5, right? However you want to do it, 1 + 1 + 1 + 1, however you get there, I got to get to the ACC in Charlotte. That's really what I'm looking at. So that more than to give it an exact number of 10-2, because you could have 2 losses, but 2 conference losses like we did, and we're out. Or you could be 10-2, God forbid, but with a Notre Dame, Florida loss, and you're in. Mm-hmm. So this year, I'm not caught up on the numbers more than I am the result, I hope that makes sense.
No, it makes total sense because I think a lot of people got caught up in how many wins they expect. Because the year before we were 7-5, 7-6, so we're like, hey, let's at least get double-digit wins. A lot of people wanted the 10 wins, and yeah, we got the 10 wins, but
you're on the couch.
You're on the couch, exactly. What hardware did we have to show for it at the end of the year? Nothing.
Right.
So it's not so much the win total. It's like exactly what you said. It's like, hey, I don't care what the record is. I just want to see this result at the end. I don't care how they get there.
Correct.
Yeah. We have to
100%. 100%.
I agree with what
because,
Tony's
like I say, football, man, it's a bunch of different ways you can do things, John, as you know this, man. Mm-hmm. And right now, like I said, I always kind of give my man Fred, he sent me a shirt, and much love to him, state champs. And I'm like, damn, dog, we had the number 1 draft pick, Heisman hopeful, and we're a state champ. Like, that's all we have for that season. Like, think about that. Like, there's nothing we can put in the Heck Center for this season. There's nothing that you can say, hey, man, I remember this year. And you look at that particular, like you say, piece of hardware. You know what I mean? As great as the season it was, and flashy and high flying and all that stuff, it ended a 7-5 result. Actually, the same. We went to the same exact bowl game as 8-4 Manny Diaz. The Pinstripe Bowl is now the new Pop-Tarts Bowl. I mean, I'm sorry, the Cheez-It Bowl is bought out by Pop-Tarts. So think about it. An 8-4 team went to the same bowl as a 10-2 team.
Yeah. And to add insult to injury, the sponsors like Cheez-It and Pop-Tarts give the bowl a ridiculous name and a ridiculous mascot. So it kind of makes it a joke. Whereas when I was a kid, it was like, oh, it's the Citrus Bowl. Oh, it's the Champ Sports Bowl. It kind of sounded a little cooler. The fact that it's a Pop-Tarts Bowl makes it sound like kind of a cartoon. Like, what are we doing? Right. But yeah, and I
would even take the Kellogg's Bowl, right? Like, I would take that. The Post Bowl, like, the Post cereal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? But the Tony the Tiger Bowl. But anyway.
Yeah. No, and about the state championships thing, like that 20 years ago, that meant something. You beat the Gators and the Knolls in the same year. That meant something when I was younger. Like, I won't get into that. Yeah. But anyway, before I get into like fall camp stuff, I was actually talking with the chat now. And I don't know if you saw that running backs list. There was the Doak Walker watch list specifically for ACC running backs. It's pretty funny because I saw there's 17 running backs on this list from the ACC that are on the Doak Walker watch list, right?
Okay.
So I clicked this article, I'm thinking, at least one of our guys has to be on there, right? And
don't tell me out of 17, not one of our guys.
Now one of our guys. Now let me see if I can share my screen actually, because a couple of the shows talked about this, and I saw some of the names, and I'm like, bro, again, no disrespect to these dudes, but I have not heard of some of these guys, like legit. All right, I'm sharing the screen. Can you see some of these names here?
I can.
You can?
I can.
Yeah. Alex Broom. I've at least heard of him. Jacquez Moore. Jamal Haynes. Jamal Haynes is good. I like him. Isaac Brown.
Hopefully this list is like alphabetical order, because Jamal Haynes probably should be at top of this list if they're doing it in a ranking order. Maybe they're doing it alphabetical order or something. I don't know.
It must be alphabetical order. I think some social media intern threw this together last minute. But like Isaac Brown, yeah, hands down for sure. Davia, I've never heard of him. Hollywood Smothers, yes, I agree with that.
Yes.
Desmond Reed, solid. Derek McFall, I don't know him at all. Cedric Irvin, I've heard of. Will Nixon. Gavin Sawchuk from FSU. I have never heard that name in my freaking life.
So Gavin Sawchuk actually played at Oklahoma. Broke him down. Pretty good running back, right? Ended up going to Oklahoma. I did his film.
Okay.
I think he started at Oklahoma. He started at Oklahoma, I believe, here last year. I didn't even know he transferred to Florida State. That might be a decent pickup for them.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's a weird name. But yeah, he can tote the rock. He can do some things. I mean, I don't know if he's a Doak Campbell Award winner. However, I mean, he's all right. But yeah, Gavin Sawchuk. I didn't know he went to Florida State. Just saw that. Wow.
It's not. I keep track of some of the names Florida State picks up. I was not familiar with him, but I stand corrected. Maybe he's decent. But again, all these names to make the list, and Fletcher Lyle don't even sniff this list. That's a little odd to me.
Yeah, and what's amazing is, I mean, like I said, I mean, we watch football, but it would be impossible for anybody to keep up with all of these names, right? I mean, unless that's just what you do 24/7. No pun intended to the 24/7 people, but here's why I think, regardless of who was back there, if you look at our coach historically, what he likes to do or what he prefers to do, I'm not going to say what he wants to do, but what he prefers to do, get behind his big uglies, pound that thing out. We saw what he did even with with Cam Ward. Still got all three of those running backs heavily involved in the offense. You come in with a new Carson Beck, still going to be Carson Beck. Nothing wrong with this. Is no knock to him. But however, our bread and butter offensively, I think right now, or at least our 60-40 cut of this pie, is the running game, right? Is what I would think is the more stable part of our offense right now, due to the O-line coming back who they are, due to the running back room of those two guys who they are. They're not new faces to this program. They're not incoming transfers. They're young bucks that kind of grew up in the system. Fletcher this is now his third year. This is Lyle's second year. And you don't think these guys are going to be a 1-2 punch? And they can't make one of the 17 cuts? This is why I don't read that stuff, John.
I try not to either, but I was shouting out the You Heard guys earlier. They were talking about this on their show last night. It was pretty hilarious when they were going through it. Wow. But yeah, no, I feel like it's going to be 2,000 yards from that duo, or that trio, maybe combined. The top three combined for 2,000. I think that's
really okay. I like it.
I think that's a realistically attainable number, because I think we're going to be more run heavy this season. Even though I think Carson Beck, I think he's going to do his thing, but I don't think we're going to. Obviously, we're going to rely on him to not throw games away, obviously, and his experience. But I don't think we're going to rely on him the way we relied on Cam last year. It's going to be a lot of running the ball, 2 tight end sets, a lot of 12 personnel, a lot of hitting the tight ends on those outlet routes. I just feel like it's going to be run heavy, and hitting 2,000 as a team, at least that top trio is realistic.
Fair. I mean, I think it's a fair statement. And like I said, we're not talking about top 5. Maybe that's arguable, whatever. But 17,
in the conference.
Bro, right. We're talking about the conference. How many teams in our conference? 14 teams, 15 teams, something like that?
15 or 16, something like that. Yeah.
So we're not even good for one. Like, so basically what you're telling me is that every team got one guy. Some teams somebody got at least two because we didn't make it at all.
Correct.
Boston College had two cats on there that I saw real quick. Boston College, I think.
Yep, Alex Broom and Jordan McDonald. Very familiar with Alex Broom, but like, come on, man. Like, and Clemson also didn't get one, but I think Clemson just lost their starter from last year. Mm-hmm. Still, I don't know. That list made very little sense to me. And yes, you're right. I should never have clicked on it until I even look at it. But anyway, we'll dive into a little fall camp talk. So
sure.
You obviously have a more trained eye than a lot of us content creators, but between what has been said and a lot of the narratives pushed out of camp, they like to push some names to the forefront and highlight some guys. Mm-hmm. Is there anything you're hearing in general? Like, is this offseason, this fall camp, like the same old, same coach speak? You're like, prove it to me on the field, or is it sounding a little bit different? Is it like, ooh, I didn't expect to hear anything about that guy. I didn't expect to hear about that guy. Like, tell me how you're feeling so far.
I always go into it with skepticism, right, John? Because I know what coaches do. I understand why they do it, and I'm not mad at why they do it, right? They understand the entertainment value. They understand what they say is literally spitting fuel on a flame, right? As soon as Coach Cristobal says, yeah, CJ Daniels, boom, everybody, CJ Daniels is going to be the next guy. Blah, blah, blah. I understand that, right? And if everybody knows, right, one thing about a coaching magic trick is it's like this hand is doing all the work, but this hand is doing the trick. Mm-hmm. And Coach Cristobal, as we all know, he's one that keeps things tight to the vest. So if you think, I want people to put their thinking hat on, as they said in elementary school. If Cristobal will not release injury information, why do y'all think that he's going to release certain things? Now, he will big up a player. I'm not saying that, meaning he will praise a guy. But I think it's very strategic in what he's saying and who he's talking about and why he's talking. And I'll just say this to you, John. Sometimes as coaches, we motivate our players by talking to them indirectly, right? We allow players to do maybe certain interviews to motivate them because we see the potential in them. They just need a kickstart. They need a kick in the behind to get it going. So I don't put a lot of onus into what they say. I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm not saying that they're lying to us. But from my side of the field, how I look at it, you got to show me. That's just me. And I understand the entertainment and the media value of it all.
Gotcha. So you feel like what they're saying, not necessarily BS, but a lot of it is like there's a behind the scenes reason why they might be saying something.
It's par for the course, right? Man, listen, man, this guy's done great, man. He's fitting in, he's a locker room guy. Like, a lot of cliches, a lot of, boiler room stuff, a lot of coach speak, as they say. Nobody's going to come out there and say, well, JoJo Trader is running that dig route phenomenal and blah, blah, blah. They're not going to do that. You know what I mean? But they're going to just kind of give you a lot of vague information, which is great, which is what they're supposed to do, and so forth and so on. But again, we say one thing and we do others. I'll just tell you a saying my aunt used to tell me. I know it's going to sound crazy. Tell me if you know what I mean. You can make your mouth fry chicken. Have you ever heard that saying before, John?
No.
No, it sounds like weird. What she's saying is you can say anything, but can you really fry the chicken? Meaning, I'm the best chef in the da 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 da. You can spit all that, but at the end of the day, can you really cook it? You know what I mean? And the same thing. This kid is doing this and that, but at the end of the day, he's got to get on the gridiron and you got to fry that chicken, if that makes sense.
I like that.
You can make your mouth fried chicken, John. You can make your mouth fried chicken, John.
Make your mouth fried chicken. I like it. There's probably some Cuban version of that I got to ask my mom. I'm sure there's some version out there. Yeah. But yeah, no, I like that. But no, I definitely agree. However, this is just my thought. Sure. I do think roster wise, you listen to every post practice thing. I listen to, Gio, D Money. I listen to all these guys, and just kind of. First of all, I listen to most to most of them to make sure like the stories line up, and they seem to line up fairly well.
Right.
And what I'm noticing a little bit different from this year's squad is there's just more. Like instead of highlighting the same handful of guys like they were a couple years ago in fall camp, now it's like 20, 25 different guys that are like, oh, this guy looked good on this rep. This guy looks huge. This guy, like, it's a long list of guys that they're trying to highlight. And, you know, I know they got to step on the field and show it first, but I mean, it's promising to me that there's more. It seems like this roster is a little bit more stacked as far as numbers and depth. How do you feel about that?
Definitely. I mean, coach is 3 years now, his 4th year, so he's 3 years down. He's had a chance to, I guess for lack of a better term, purge some cats out of there, bring some guys in. He's been blessed with the transfer portal, so he can do it at warp speed now. He doesn't have to do it through high school recruiting classes. And I've always said this, I don't believe talent is an issue for the University of Miami. I think we always have talent. Hell, we just showed we put 7 in the league this year. We put guys in. I think Cristobal made a statement. I think he said he was watching it, and was it John Ford? He was like, oh, God, we're not going to get a guy in. Oh, and John Ford gets in, I want to say, around 6 or 7, like right before it's over. Mm-hmm. And we have put guys in, even though it doesn't seem to translate on the football field as of yet from a record perspective. However, we have talent, John. Like, we have talent. And I'm speaking from the ACC perspective, not across the board. I don't mind taking baby steps through this walk. And again, you don't hear me screaming natty, right? I'm not screaming natty. Now, don't get me wrong. I would love it. But I'm screaming with the talent that we have, now going into year 4, the ACC championship is not only obtainable, it should be expected. Because we have the talent. We have the talent, you know, and that's how I look at it. So to your point, yes, I think that the position rooms are getting deeper. The talent is staying. Yeah, we lose guys at transfer portal. That's part of this process, the way it's designed. It's okay. But we bring guys in, you know, as well. And, you know, again, I just heard JoJo suffer some injury. Hope he gets well. But we got other guys. It's not like, oh, my God, everything's on JoJo. He dropped the basket and all the eggs are broken. We still got guys. You know what I'm saying? We still got guys. And it's not like, you know, oh, man, he's the guy. So, I mean, in that sense, I mean, like we just count on him only. So to your point, yeah, it's a bunch of guys out there that can contribute to this program, that can get us W's, keep the chains moving, can make tackles, get interceptions, strip footballs. I don't expect anything less, man. I want to be in Charlotte, bro, December 6th, 2025.
Yeah. And actually, I don't know why I have a good memory for these things. I remember when we first started our channels, I think Flo and I we were still calling it the Canes unit. That's how long ago this was. And we were talking to you, and I think Wholesome One was on the show. It was a bunch of people on the show. And I remember I think it was you or Wholesome One. I want to say it was you. You said, man, we're still like 5 years away, and we all thought you were crazy. And that was when Manny was still the coach.
I did say that. So I remember that. So when people ask me, I said we're 5 years away with Manny Diaz. And this was even prior to the transfer portal. Yeah. Right. The transfer portal hadn't even, I think it was people, they were like twiddling with it. It wasn't a full-fledged thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It was like, yeah, you could transfer, but it was like certain guys. It wasn't like anybody could just walk in the office and sign their paper and be gone. It was like, oh, do you have a reason? You know, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I said 5 years away, and we probably I've been doing the channel now 5 years, so we're probably right there.
We're like right there, man. This is it. Let's count it from when Mario got hired that next offseason. So this is year 4.
There you go.
You know, you ended up being right, man. We're like, this is year 4. We're like right there. I just thought that was interesting. So Chi-Town Kane, thank you so much for the dono. College football question. Leonard Fournette on 2019 LSU offense or Duke Johnson on last year's Miami offense?
Shot-Town, you know I love you, baby. But come on. We got number 8 right here on the wall. Look at him right there. Number 8, baby. Listen, Duke Johnson was one of the most special players I had an opportunity to coach. I was just talking last night with Street and Luke about him. As a freshman in high school, he won defensive MVP for me. A lot of people don't know that. Defensive MVP as a freshman in high school.
Wow.
Listen, he is the epitome of a ball player. Now, I'm not just taking nothing from Fournette. Nah, he gangster too, but Duke Johnson, I think, is a little more versatile than Fournette so far as, a little different skill set. But I think Duke Johnson, in my opinion, from a football IQ, ability, agility, speed, just knowing the game, understanding the situation, I take 8 all day, baby.
Yeah, Duke was special. That's for sure. Do you feel like they misused him when he was here? I kind of feel like they did. I thought they put a little too much weight on him. I thought they made him too much of a between the tackles guy. I'm like, that wasn't him. The way they used him his freshman year, the way Al Golden used him as a returner, scat back, receiver out of the backfield, I thought that was perfect.
Yeah, he had some Reggie in him, man. He got some Reggie Bush in him. Like you ever seen the thing where we talk about where guys kind of come in different times? Like I always felt like Peter Ward came in the wrong time. Even though I know we're talking Florida State, but I just love football. I love good football players, right? And Peter Ward just came around in the wrong time. If Peter Ward comes around today, this league, he tears this league to pieces. He just came in the wrong. He just comes in the wrong era of the game, right? And Reggie kind of did as well as he transitioned to the NFL. If Reggie goes to the NFL today, he look like Le'Veon Bell out there, crazy. He crazy with it. But anyhow, I think Duke was the same way. Sometimes these coaches, we get in love with our playbook and we don't look at what all a young man can do. Because we're scared to hurt another guy's feelings. We don't want to hurt that receiver's feelings. He's a receiver. He should catch the balls more than the running back should catch the ball. Man, look here. I'm giving the ball I got favoritism, John, for those who ball, baby. If you ball, I got favoritism, baby.
Of course, that's how it should be, but, easier said than done, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's up, John and Coach Hayes? Y'all doing all right? How the Canes O-line and D-line looking in practice today? Well, today was the first day of pads. So, before today, really, it's hard to, from things you've heard, it's hard to make any kind of determination in shells. But, today's the first day in full pads. Here in, Justin Scott's put on some good weight. He's looking big. Dalen Russell's put on some good weight. He's close to 300 pounds. That's a nice, pleasant surprise. But the trenches is one of those weird things that it's like, I really have to see it on the field to know anything.
Yes. Can't play no games with that, man. Yes.
No. Yeah.
Yes.
Question for you. So I don't think I've talked to you about this directly, but obviously we had huge problems on the back end of the defense at the end of last year that kind of derailed the season. And from your more trained eye, we all made our assumptions that, there's communications problems back there. We, from what we saw, at least, guys go in motion. We're all confused. And then we go and hire Corey Heatherman. Hopefully he rights the ship. But from your standpoint, what were the issues specifically that you were seeing that maybe not a lot of people on these channels talk about? And what do you think, from what you know of Heatherman, if anything, what do you think he can fix?
Here's what I'll say. Anytime guys confused, that means they don't know what's going on. That doesn't mean everybody needs to know everything. However, if there's a lot of confusion and there's a lot of finger pointing, the guys are not comfortable in the defense, right? Meaning it's not fluid to them. Oh, if he does this, he does that. Hey, man, check that. No problem, right? It's kind of like at work. If that alarm goes off, and the guy's like, what do I do? He's not prepared. But the old vet guy, cut that thing off. Because he's been there. He got it. He knows the process. Football is the same way, and people don't realize we're in the comforts of our living room, maybe at the game, but on that field, every 25 seconds, actually it's less than that, probably about 12 seconds, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of information being presented and passed on in 12 seconds. Coaches in your ear, that's a set of information. You got to process it. Offense, formation, that's a set of information. Now you got to process it. Oh, dude, they formation, motion, that's another new set of information. You got to process it. And in the meantime, you got to get it across to all 11 of the homies, or 10 rather, if you want. This is where simplicity makes his head, like rears his head. It has to happen. However, to answer your question, if you're too simple, the offensive coordinators are so good today, they'll make you pay. And I don't care if you had the athleticism of a Deion Sanders, a Richard Sherman, a Jalen Ramsey. They can't cover everything because the way in which the game is played is so difficult. And we saw that with crossing routes, right? Man defense, that's a crossing route beater, right? The mesh concept. I'm running away from you across the field. Just by the nature of the route, you're beat. God forbid somebody get in your way. You understand what I'm saying? So I say all that to say, I'm sorry. So I said, my camera pauses for some reason. I say all that to say that when it came to coach last year, he never adjusted in that. But I think he was afraid because he didn't want to have coverage bust. Therefore, that tells me there was an issue with the teaching of it, right? Now, I say all that to say this about Corey Heatherman. He comes from a teaching background, so I definitely give him credit. I don't know much about his defense. I saw it at Minnesota, but what you did over there is not always going to be the same over here, and what you do at Miami won't be the same at your next stop. But what I do like about him is that he says he's a teacher, and he understands how to touch and how to reach his athletes in different ways, and I always talk about that. John, if I got to go put marshmallows on the football field, let's put marshmallows on the football field. If that's what it takes for you to learn it, I'm being serious, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know it's crazy, but coach is another word for teacher. It is what it is. So you do what you have to do in order to get the student to learn. And so I say all that to say, I didn't see the spring. I don't think anybody did. And I'm really going to evaluate him versus Notre Dame, and I want to see how he adjusts to different things. And when it comes to Notre Dame, because it's going to be super exciting to see this chess match with our defensive guys. Yeah, we've upped some talent, but you can't sit in a man world forever, dog, because they got man beaters. They got cover 3 beaters. They got cover 2 beaters. They got cover 4 beater. I tell you, it's only 5 coverages, John. You know that, right? It's only 5.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The rest of that stuff, I mean, pregame, we're talking about exotics, but it's a combination of those. But at the end of the day, that's really the crux of defense. It's 5D. Their playbook is infinite. Think about it. You watch offense, they could go here, spin around, come back, go here. Well, they can do whatever they pretty much want within the confines, but the route combinations are infinite. And that's how I look at it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree on the man and zone thing. I know that was a huge complaint amongst fans. Would have loved to have seen a lot more zone, but you're right. It looked like they weren't comfortable. They look confused. They look lost. Hopefully, a little bit of simple is going to go a long way this year for them. Looking forward to seeing that. But let me ask you 1 or 2 more questions before we get you out of here. Yeah. Sure. These are mainly about Notre Dame, about the upcoming game. So, first off, we're going into this game. This is probably the only, I would say, roster just strictly on paper on our schedule that I would say is either even or probably slightly better than us. Okay. And, that goes both ways. We might be, as far as the toughest rosters they face, we're like top 2 probably this year. So this is a tough matchup for both sides. How are you seeing? Are you thinking this is going to be, game one? Carson really hasn't had the time that he should have had with the receivers because of his injury. Are you thinking this is going to be like a knockdown, drag out physical game? Not a lot of passing. You think OCs are going to open it up? Like, because I feel like these big games early, coaches play them really close to the chest, where like a 5-yard gain is huge. How are you seeing this game unfold?
I have to be honest. I'm not afraid of Carson Beck. I think I think for some reason, I think there's like this cloud over Carson Beck, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. There's this thing where people are handling him with kid gloves, like, Carson Beck, it's not like his injury happened in game one and he didn't play the rest of the season. If Carson Beck didn't get hurt and they lost that game, will we be afraid of him? Like, just think of it in that instant. If Carson Beck lost that game and the season for Georgia was over, would the fan bases be like, Now, I'm not talking about the mechanics of throwing. I'm talking about the mentality of him. No. Also, let's not get it twisted. This guy has played in big games. He has only lost 3 games in 2 years. 2 to Alabama and 1 to Ole Miss. He beat the number 1 team. Wasn't it Texas at the time? Beat them twice. Notre Dame is Notre Dame. They're not, they were there last year. Take nothing away from them. I still hate them, but I take nothing away from them. But he's been here. If anything, he is the shoulders we should be leaning on. Mark Fletcher ain't been there. Jordan Lyle ain't been there. CeCe ain't been there. Reuben Bain ain't been there. Name somebody else has been to the promised land like Carson Beck. Name somebody else on our team, but Meach Powell ain't there. At least he was there last. Nobody else that I can think of has been to where he's been. He's the only one that can tell the story of Moses. He been to the mountaintop, baby. I'm just saying, what are we talking about? And we're sitting here thinking like, will he get it done? I think he's the most comfortable out there. He's been through. He's had a chance to sit and watch through championship runs. He's had a chance to play in the biggest games. He's had a chance to blow it in big games and almost come back and win it. The guy has run the gambit. And because he hurt his elbow, he didn't hurt his mind. He didn't hurt his memory. He didn't hurt. I'm comfortable with Carson Beck. He's not Cam Ward, no. Meaning they're 2 different type of guys. But I'm super comfortable with a Carson Beck back there. He's the least of my worries, in my opinion. That's just me.
I could not agree more on Carson Beck. I spent a lot of time over these last few weeks watching full film of his games from last year. And look, there was some poor decisions he made, but I keep telling people this, like, freeze it when he throws the interception. Like, who was open? Like, his guys weren't getting separation. His O-line was like not giving him a lot of time to throw. It was a lot of breakdowns happening on offense, but I really believe the dude, if we keep him upright, dude's going to eat. I have very little to no doubt of that. And yeah, like you said, the atmosphere, that level of college football, like, he's been there, he's comfortable. The closest thing we've been to that really was the Swamp game 1 last year, and we silenced them. It got quiet pretty quick. So,
And I'll tell you this. I forgot the name of their stadium over there, whatever it is in Georgia, that crap, but between the hedges. Yeah. They average 30,000 more people than the Hard Rock every Saturday.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying, right? So he has been everywhere we're trying to go. I hate to say it, but that's the God's on the truth. I'm talking about in recent history here. He's been everywhere we're trying to go in recent history. Think Georgia holds 100,000. I've been in that stadium. That's 30 more thousand, and they don't have to be in a big game to be 100,000 in there. It's 100,000 against Georgia Southern. So I'm cool with it. He is not my worry. I don't have a worry at all. in regards to Carson Beck. Now I'll say this: I did a highlight, low light video on him one Kane show. There's two things that I had concerns about as I broke it down. I'm not sure if you guys had a chance to see it. He has a lot of batted balls, and Carson Beck is not a short guy. He's not a 5'10", 5'11", 6-foot guy. Mm-hmm. What I deduced from it was his route patterns were too short. The patterns were too close. Therefore, his angle of the ball, and here's the second thing. I thought his O-line didn't do bad blocking, but what they did defensively said, let's get hands in passing lanes because the angle of his ball is low due to the routes in which he throws. See, this is all the stuff guys don't think about. Because if you go look at it, most of his balls that are batted down are from D linemen that not getting a pass rush. They put their hands up because you're throwing a 7-8 yard drag concept across the middle. The second thing is he locks on to receiver. He gets tunnel vision. And that's something I hope that Coach Shannon Dawson can work out of him and see what's what. But I don't, man, let him play. I mean, think about it. A year ago, he was ranked number 1.
I know.
I'm not afraid of him at all. Let's go, baby. Is he going to make a mistake? Yeah, of course. Come on, man.
Of course. No, I'm not nervous about the offense one bit. I just want to see this defense gel in this new system. If that happens, I think we're in great shape. Last question for you. So you see the comment there from George that Notre Dame's starting a freshman quarterback. Well, they're starting either CJ Carr, who's a freshman, who's not thrown a pass in college football, or the other possibility is Kenny Minchie, who I think it's his 3rd year with the program, but he's only thrown like 4 passes. So he doesn't have a ton of experience either.
Sure.
Going into a game like this, you're coaching the defense, let's say. How do you prepare against a team that's obviously very talented, very deep, but they got an inexperienced quarterback? They're coming to your house. It's going to be loud. Are you kind of licking your chops as a DC? Are you like, I guess, does it depend on the quarterback? Like, how are you approaching that? Someone who's kind of a wild card that you have no idea what he can bring.
I'll just tell you this, right? I'm always defend your strength and prepare my players for your weakness. What does that mean? Put myself in the mindset of Coach Freeman, defensive-minded guy, right? New quarterback. What does he say? Let's play good defense, ball control, offense. We got a good running back here, right? Let's lean on him, especially game 1. Let my man get his sea legs. I don't think you'll definitely see some shots in Notre Dame. Like, they'll take some shots. But they're also going to have a lot of confidence throws with these quarterbacks, both of them. One may be older, but very little experience. The other one is new with very little experience. So, yeah, you're going to take some shots. That's football. It's life. However, you got to defend the weakness. I mean, you got to defend their strengths. You can't cover ghosts. I can't cover what ifs. I have to be prepared for what ifs, but I can't cover what ifs, John. I got to stop the run. I got to stop the run with the quarterback as well, including him in the 11. But when you run the ball, it's usually 10 on 11. He now makes it 11 on 11. I also have to understand what's happening during the game, and this is very important. When you don't have data and you don't have data points on these guys, you have to have a very good staff that can chart and mark him as he's playing. Because whatever he's doing well in quarter 1, they're going to try to do it in quarter 2. Except from the left, they're going to try to do it to the right to make it look different, but it's still the same. Instead of doing out of 2x2, it's the same play out of 3x1. But you have to have good people to chart guys that don't have data points. So I say this to go back and answer your question. I'm worried about stopping the run right now. We got to stop that. But you always have to have your what if. What is the contingency plan? When they do this, what is the situation? What is the scenario? And have good rules in place, right? Rules get you out of games or defensively. Here are the rules. And every rule has one exception. You have to always teach your guys that. Here are the rules to this defense, to this play. Here's the one exception. This is what can kill us, right? For lack of a better term, you know what I'm saying. And that's how I look at it. I'm going to stop Love. I'm going to stop the running game. I'm going to stop the quarterback counters, the quarterback draw, so forth. He may get some confident throws. Let's make a good, solid tackle. You going to run a hitch? Fine. No problem. Let's stop big plays from the shot plays and so forth. And we let us see another down, get them flustered. I don't think this is going to be a game where you're going to get a ton of sacks. You know, I think, he's a freshman quarterback. Well, they know he's a freshman quarterback too, John. So why would I go out there and gunsling with him? He's a freshman too. I'm not going out there and throw out of 60 plays. I'm not going to throw 45 of them. So I don't think we get a ton of sacks. I think it's going to be a slow grind, a slow roast, and make it happen.
I agree. I think it's going to be quick throw city, bubble screen, tunnel screen, not as quick slants. I think it's going to be a lot of that as well. In fact, I remember Yeah. In fact, I'm remembering that first drive when we played the Gators in Orlando in 2019. We had a freshman, Jaron Williams, starting that day. And I remember that opening drive, it was quick throws. And it was a good drive, good scripted drive. We ended on a field goal. And it kind of got him, got the juices flowing, and it got him comfortable. So I'm thinking Notre Dame's probably going to do a lot of the same. A lot of quick throws, a lot of get Jordan Love or Jeremiah Love in space, try to stop him. I think that's what it's going to be. But
get the ball in your guys' hand, whoever they feel they're. One guy transferred and went to Auburn. I forget his name, but they have another not Mumford. What's that dude? I can't think of his name right now. One guy transferred, went to Rutherford, I think maybe. Transferred and went to Auburn. Another guy stayed. Their second best receiver stayed. Just like us. What did we do last year? Try to get the ball in our guys' hands quickly and let them make a play. I think that's the same thing.
Yeah. Mo, thank you for the dono. 2025 ACC champs, Miami Hurricanes, some of my favorite coaching, John Go Canes. Yeah, speak it into existence, man. Coach, it's one of the first times in a long time that I'm going into the season like, hey, like you said, I'm expecting us in Charlotte. Like anything less than that, it's a disappointment. You got to get there with this roster, with this staff, with this quarterback. You got to get there. And if you get there, honestly, I like our chances against Clemson. That's just me.
I like it. And here's the beautiful thing, John. We don't play any of our nemesis for the past 2 years. We haven't played Clemson. We don't play North Carolina. Who else is a thorn?
Georgia Tech.
We don't play Georgia Tech this year. Come on, man. Come on, man. The moon, the stars, everybody, things align, all that good stuff up there for us. I mean, I'm ready to rock and roll, brother. Like, I'm super excited. And I'm going to say this to you, John, on here, and maybe to your fan base as well. I'm starting something. Maybe you guys will follow me. You let me know. We want to buy our ACC championship tickets in August. # Coach, meet us there. We're going to be there. Win, lose, or draw. Right? Because that's where we have to put the bar here. We have to put the bar here because we're talking about the ACC championship game. Boston College? Think about this. Wake Forest, brother, got an ACC championship. What are we talking about?
There you go, bro. # Coach, meet us there,
baby. Come on. And we go into the game, win, lose, or draw with our orange and green on with a sign. Hopefully you there. But if not, it says you should be here.
I agree. Couldn't agree more, man. Yeah. But anyway, don't want to keep you too much longer. I actually have to go myself. But anyways, Thank you so much for being on. I always love having you on, bro. I could talk football. I could talk football with you for hours, probably. But
I love it.
Let the people know, if they don't already know, I'm sure most of them do, but where to find you, how often they can find you. I don't know if you go live regularly anymore, but let the people know.
Yeah, man. So we do Canes Talk Live on Wednesdays. We do it at Wednesdays, man, at 8:30. I don't have a set schedule. We ride out. We edit, man. As long as the meter running, we talking. So with that being said, the WREs that come out, we talk about the top players across the country, across the nation, and so forth. And we just have fun with it as the season goes on. We'll do pre-game, post-game plays and stuff as well. We do the good, bad, and ugly, right? We break down the good, bad, and ugly plays of the game and the season. I try to go to games and go live from the games. I love to meet you guys out there at the tailgate. I will be there for the Notre Dame game, baby. So if you see me, holla at me. Let's do it. Let's take a picture, man. I want to take a picture with you. Don't take a picture with me. I'm going to pull my phone out, take a picture with you. And my last but not least, John, you are cordially invited. Oh, let me turn this around. I'm used to be on the other side. John, you are cordially invited, as always, to the 8-hour YouTube takeover. We're doing it on Wednesday, August 20th, 4 p.m. to 12 midnight. That's our way. I just think of just trying to celebrate these young men and go 8 hours straight. I made my vow not to get out the chair. No bathroom break, baby. We do a whole shift right here in the seat.
I don't know how you
don't want to know the details. Yeah, and I'm drinking cane juice the whole time. I don't think y'all want to know the real details, but just know everything that goes from here down is kept secret. Anyway, so John, man, I have fun. Are you guys is you and Lex gonna do? Remember, he had the thing up here. I think we had a chance in Kissimmee that time to watch one of the games. Man, I don't know if he's gonna do one this year, but that was extra fun. That was super fun.
Lex is planning a watch party for the FSU game in October. Since that's a road game, he's going to do it in Orlando. Yeah.
In Orlando, yeah. Lex set it off, man. So, yeah, definitely. So that was a good time down. I had a chance to run down there and everything. But like I said, I appreciate it. You can find me, Coach Hayes Football, on all platforms. And good to go, man. Appreciate you having me.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, send me the invite. I'd love to hop on for your 8-hour extravaganza, as always. But anyways, yeah. Like, share, and subscribe. As always, all about the U. Go Canes.
Canes, baby.